Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest battles of your life won't be fought in boardrooms or battlefields. They will be fought silently right between your ears. You see, the human mind is not just a container for thoughts. It's the architect of your reality. It builds your hopes, your habits, your future, or your failure. But here's the tragedy. Most people don't think their own thoughts. They inherit opinions, adopt fears, and accept limitations they never question. Their minds are open doors and anything can walk in. So let me ask you something. If your mind is a garden, who have you allowed to plant in it? Because if you don't choose what goes in, someone else will. And what they plant may not nourish you, it may poison you. Your mind, my friends, is the steering wheel of your entire life. And I came here to remind you, don't hand it over to strangers. Guarding the door of your mind isn't paranoia, it's wisdom. See, everything begins as a seed in the mind. A casual remark from a stranger, a headline from the newspaper, a whisper of fear from someone who quit long ago. All these things try to slip through the cracks and take root. And if you're not paying attention, they will. The human mind is fertile soil. It doesn't care what you plant. It will return. It multiplied. Plant confusion, get chaos. Plant doubt, get hesitation. But plant discipline, faith, ideas, ambition, and you'll reap a harvest worth more than gold. I remember a time early on when someone told me, "You're not the kind of man who becomes wealthy. That's not for people like us." Now, I had a choice: leave that door wide open and let that idea unpack its bags, or close it, lock it, and build something better. I chose the latter. But too many don't. They accept limitations like they're facts instead of opinions. They don't realize those words become blueprints if you don't tear them down fast.
You've got to think of your mind as a priceless estate, because it is. And you wouldn't let a stranger walk into your home, rearrange your furniture, and tell you where to sleep. So why let just anyone's opinion live rent-free in your head? Guard it, evaluate it, strengthen it, and soon you'll notice your results will start looking like your thoughts, because that's where they were born. One of the saddest things in life is a person who has lived 40 years and only thought for themselves for maybe 4. The rest of the time, they were simply running on other people's programming, parents, peers, politics, or popular opinion. But here's the truth. If you don't take control of your thinking, someone else will. And they'll do it with a smile, all while walking you away from your purpose. I learned early that independent thinking is a rare asset, and rare things are valuable. I used to work in a warehouse surrounded by smart folks, but most of them weren't free thinkers. They were echo chambers repeating whatever was said on the radio that morning. And I noticed something. None of them were building a future, just surviving the present. That's what happens when you let your thoughts be outsourced. You inherit someone else's limits. Now, thinking for yourself doesn't mean being rebellious for the sake of it. It means asking deeper questions. Why do I believe this? Where did this idea come from? Does this serve the life I want to build? Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "A man should learn to detect and watch that gleam of light which flashes across his mind from within. That's the spark of self-direction. You must catch it before it's drowned out by the noise of the world." See, the path to wealth, real wealth, not just in dollars but in purpose and freedom, begins with original thought. You have to develop your own conclusions, your own goals, your own vision, because nobody else will live with the consequences of your thinking more than you, and no one else is responsible for your results. So stop borrowing beliefs like they're hand-me-down clothes. Tailor your mind like you would your suit, custom fit to your values, your ambitions, your destiny, because when you don't think for yourself, you are being thought for, and those who do your thinking rarely have your best interest in mind. I used to wonder why 2 people could come from the same place, have the same job, same tools, same paycheck, and yet end up in 2 entirely different worlds. One broke, bitter, tired. The other, free, focused, and building something great, then it hit me, it's not the conditions, it's the conclusions. It's not the economy, it's the philosophy. Your personal philosophy is the lens through which you see the world, and that lens either sharpens your vision or blinds you to your own potential. When I was 25, my philosophy was simple: work hard, hope for the best, and complain when things didn't go my way. That mindset kept me poor not just in money, but in attitude, opportunity, and influence. Then someone asked me a question that shook me. What's your philosophy on success? I didn't have one. I had slogans, I had opinions, but no deliberate philosophy. And without philosophy, your life is accidental. So I started building one. I gathered ideas that were tested by time. I studied the wealthy, not just what they had, but how they thought. I read the Stoics who taught discipline, Solomon who taught wisdom, and Epictetus who said, only the educated are free.
You show me your closest associations, and I'll show you your future. It's that simple. The people you surround yourself with are not just companions, they're investments. And just like money, associations either yield a return or drain your capital. Some relationships inspire, uplift, challenge your thinking. Others deplete your energy, scatter your focus, and keep you broke not just financially, but emotionally and intellectually. When I started changing my life, one of the hardest things wasn't breaking bad habits, it was breaking away from people who didn't want to grow. I had friends who meant well, but their conversations never left the same four subjects: complaints, blame, luck, and the weather. Every time I left those conversations, I felt smaller. That's when I realized if I wanted to build a life of value, I had to surround myself with people of value. The Roman philosopher Seneca once said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." I took that to heart. I started seeking out those who were further down the path, mentors who read good books, who made smart decisions, who lived with purpose. Being around them didn't just teach me new things, it forced me to upgrade how I thought. Think of your mind like a bank. Every conversation is a deposit or a withdrawal. Some people invest wisdom, encouragement, discipline. They add interest to your thoughts. Others cash out your attention, drain your belief, leave you in overdraft. So be careful who you hand your mental ATM card to. I remember once spending an afternoon with a wealthy man, wealthy in money, wisdom, and peace. In just a few hours, he asked better questions than most people ask in a year. He challenged how I saw time, choices, and even silence. I walked away richer, and it had nothing to do with his wallet. So treat association like compound interest. The longer you stay in the presence of people who sharpen you, the greater the return over time. Don't gamble with your future by associating with those who keep you stuck in the present. Your mind is too valuable to invest in poor company. Most people never really own their mind, they just lease it out to whoever shows up with a loud opinion. They let the news anchor tell them what to think. They let the pessimist down the street shape their mood. They let social pressure rewrite their goals. But I'm here to tell you, the rent is too high when you don't own your own thoughts. Because every time you let someone else steer your mind, you're driving toward their destination, not yours. I know how it feels. I've done it. I used to believe things just because they were said confidently. I'd follow the crowd, even when the crowd was lost. It wasn't until I looked in the mirror and asked myself, why am I thinking this way? Who gave me this script I'm reading from every day? That I realized my mind wasn't mine, it was borrowed. The great poet Horace said, asterisk, rule your mind, or it will rule you. Asterisk. And he was right. Owning your mind means taking full responsibility for what you believe, what you pursue, and what you allow to influence you. It means you don't just parrot the headlines, you investigate reflect, and decide what's true for you. You wouldn't rent out your home to someone who trashes the place, so why do that with your thoughts? Some people have had the same toxic ideas living in their heads for years, rent-free. Ideas like, I'm not good enough, success is for other people, money is evil. Those thoughts aren't tenants, they're squatters. And it's time to evict them. I remember a turning point in my life. I decided to become the landlord of my own mental real estate. I set rules for what could stay and what had to go. I started reading more, thinking deeper, and questioning longer. And with that shift, I started making better choices, not just financially, but personally, spiritually, professionally. See, when you own your mind, no one else can foreclose on your future. And when you stop renting it to the crowd, you finally get to build something that's truly yours. Beliefs are powerful. They shape how you see the world, how you treat yourself, how you approach opportunity. But here's the catch. Most people didn't choose their beliefs. They inherited them. They picked them up from childhood, absorbed them from the culture, accepted them from broken people, and they've been living under their weight ever since, never stopping to ask the question that could change everything. Asterisk. Is this belief even true? Asterisk. Let me tell you, the worst prison is the one you don't know you're in. I lived for years with beliefs that limited me. I'm just average. Money is hard to earn. Success is for the lucky. Where did I get those ideas? Who slipped them into my mental suitcase? I never asked. I just carried them around like truth, and they cost me years of progress. You don't break free by working harder. You break free by thinking clearer. Plato said, asterisk. An unexamined life is not worth living. Asterisk, I'd add to that, an unexamined belief is not worth believing. You have to become the inspector of your own mind. Every belief needs to be tested. Is this serving me or sabotaging me? Does this help me grow, or does it keep me stuck? A belief should be like a tool. If it doesn't help you build the life you want, it doesn't belong in your toolbox. Just because a belief is old doesn't mean it's right. Just because it's popular doesn't mean it's powerful. Examine what you believe about wealth, about time, about yourself. Because if you don't question your beliefs, they will quietly control your behavior. And your results will always rise or fall to the level of the beliefs you refuse to inspect. You know, not all failures announce themselves with noise. Some creep in quietly, wearing the disguise of comfort and ease. Mental laziness is one of those silent killers. It doesn't slap you in the face, it just slowly numbs your edge. One day you stop asking questions. The next, you stop seeking answers. Before long, you're stuck in the same spot, wondering why life feels so small. Mental laziness doesn't mean you're not busy. It means you've stopped stretching. It means you're consuming instead of creating, accepting instead of analyzing. I've seen people read dozens of books, but never pause to reflect. They collect quotes, but never build a philosophy. They're intellectually entertained, but mentally asleep. Years ago, I fell into that trap. I was doing my work, going through the motions, but I wasn't thinking, not deeply. I was reacting to life, not responding with intention. That's when I came across the words of Leonardo da Vinci. Iron rusts from disuse. Water loses its purity from stagnation. So does inaction sap the vigor of the mind. That shook me. I realized I couldn't afford to let my greatest tool, the mind, grow dull. Let me leave you with this. Your mind is the most powerful possession you'll ever own. Not your bank account, not your property, not even your connections. Because everything else flows from the quality of your thinking. You can't build a fortune with a mind filled with fear. You can't create freedom while carrying beliefs that enslave you. And you certainly can't live a meaningful life thinking with someone else's ideas. The greatest gift you can give yourself is the discipline to guard your thoughts, examine your beliefs, choose your influences, and sharpen your intellect. Not once, every day. Because your future doesn't begin when circumstances change, it begins when your philosophy changes. So the call to action is simple. Reclaim your mind, audit your thoughts, upgrade your associations, invest in your thinking like your life depends on it, because it does. Don't leave your mind to the crowd, the culture, or convenience. Take ownership, build it, train it, and protect it like a treasure chest, because that's exactly what it is. You are the architect of your future, and your mind is the blueprint. Design it well, live it strong, and never again, never leave it in the hands of someone else.